So the first time I met Greta, this was about 10 years ago at the Contemporary Museum. I needed to go into the office to grab some paperwork. So I opened the door, lights are off, and there's this woman sitting in the corner. I was kind of surprised, and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm here to grab some paper." She didn't say anything, didn't move. I'm like, okay, whatever. Grabbed the piece of paper that I needed, and I left. In my head, I was like, wow, people here sleeping on the job. A couple days later, we have this staff meeting, and I ask, who's that aloof woman in the office over there? And everybody looked at each other, paused, and then they stared at me, and everybody started laughing. It's like, that's Duane Hanson's secretary.
I'm Tory Laitila, Curator of Textiles and Fashion at the Honolulu Museum of Art, and I'll be talking about Duane Hanson's 1972 sculpture, Secretary. The staff at the museum started to do some conservation work on Duane Hanson's Secretary sculpture, and upon taking apart some of the components, we found a very lovely handwritten cursive note, folded in half, tucked away in her steno pad, and it was signed Greta. So we've dubbed her Greta and started to build her history. She has a creation date of 1972, and we know that Duane Hanson was in New York City between 1969 and 1973. We even know where he lived in Manhattan, on the corner of the Bowery and Bleecker Street, across the street from where the famed CBGB Music Club would later be, which opened after Hanson left New York. Once the condition issues of Greta were identified, we dealt with them individually. So the collection team of Kyle Swartzlander, Mark Thomas, Kayla Annan, and myself undressed Greta and took apart all the components. After the blouse and skirt were removed, they were sent to local textile conservator Linda He, and she wet cleaned them.
Okay, she moved it back now.
Okay, now let's take out the foam and then we can put her down a little bit. Oh yes, it's missing a stitch. Okay, yellow?
Yellow or gray?
Yellow or gray?
The other
Gray.
thread is gray.
Okay. I don't like to pull hard on these old pulls, because they can break. Okay.
Excellent. Okay.
That would explain why the back heel was bent on this. When doing the conservation work on Greta, we kept the artist's intention at the forefront. Some of the Duane Hanson sculptors at other institutions, when Duane Hanson was alive, would actually send replacement components from his collection of thrifted or found objects. Knowing that, we did source out a couple of replacement parts for the wristwatch as well as her hosiery.
Lovely, that looks good.
It's a toy watch made in Germany. They retooled the plant after World War II. It was on really tight. If it's snug, it's okay. If it's loose, then we can adjust the buckle. Okay. So I put a clove hitch. Yeah, the guy who came up with that was in San Francisco, and then people stole his idea or his technique. You just gotta move the fibers around so that you can cover it. So looking at the steno pad with her pen, that is the tool of the trade of a secretary for that era, there are some notes in shorthand, and I'm not a shorthand expert, so I can't tell if they are Gregg or Pittman or another type of shorthand, but they are dated and they do relate to when the sculpture was exhibited. Here she is in the gallery, all set to take a memo.